women like that walk around with their emotional dukes up, and that's exhausting.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Eeryt Solo Thoughts. In today's video, we're gonna be reacting to Kevin Samuels. Do modern women have trust issues? Sounds interesting, but we gonna see what he talking about in this one. And make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe for more reaction videos like this one. What's up, everybody? I'm back with another Kevin Samuels reaction, and by the look of the title, this should be interesting. But I'm not gonna hold you guys up any longer. We're gonna jump straight into this reaction. Let's get it.
Oh my god, this is so scary because you're vicious and funny, hilarious. You're so. I'm
what I am is
a little bit. You remind me of my
here. Okay, let's take it down.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me. So.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 topics. One, would you rather settle or die alone? And then the other one's about Goldman Sachs. Let's talk about that one. Settle or die alone? What do you think?
Well, I think that's a hard question. I don't think anybody really knows. You know?
Well, let's reverse engineer it. Do you want to die alone?
Now that's a want. So, no, I don't think anybody's decision really is to die alone, is it?
Well,
most. I think.
Well, most people want to go. It's presumed that most people want to go through life with somebody to share it with.
Yeah.
That's the presumption.
Right.
But today in the West, people are more single than ever in history.
That's true.
So at some point, deciding to be with someone has to be a practical decision, like it was 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Where are your ancestors from?
So if you look at
just pick some land masses that we might know.
So Costa Rica, Spain, Africa.
Okay. So let's go back to Spain. Let's go back to Spain in the 1200s. In the 1200s. Could a woman live her entire life without a man?
No, that at that
meaning
point,
could she survive?
At that point, that's survival. So yeah, we do need a man. At that point.
So whether it was in Spain or whether it was in North America on the plains of Oklahoma, women and men have always had to get together for practical reasons. Reproduction is a luxury, but survival. Today's modern women can have a level of survival without needing a physical man in the house, because the society is doing the job that men used to do. The shelter you live in, the food you get, the water you drink is all being provided by man-made stuff. But then what happens when you're into your 50s and 60s and you're not out dating, you're not doing things like you could do in your 20s and 30s? You still end up being alone, vulnerable. Right or wrong? So let's say you're just an average working middle class woman and you get to 65 years old, past retirement age. You don't have a lot to retire on. Wherever you live, you're going to be at who's going to be watching over you if you have no husband and no children? Whatever institution, whatever home, whatever senior center. That's a lot of stuff to put on strangers.
I mean, I think at any age, that's really hard. You know, I'm originally from California and I live in Wisconsin now. And I'm a single mom, 28, going to school. And I'm basically stuck here because I had a child with my ex. So it's just me. So, you know, when I have to go to the doctors, who takes care of me? My girlfriend. So even at 28, you know, that's hard. I can't imagine being older and having that.
Right. So if it's hard now, as a 28-year-old single mother, the ideal situation is to have got with a man that you valued enough to marry him, and he marry you, and then to have a child that you both planned. So whatever you were doing or he was doing, you'd have at least two hands, two people. So when you're at school, you at least have the biological father, someone that you're not paying, and somebody that actually has an investment in that child.
Right. Can I ask you a question? I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you were just talking with that 25-year-old young lady, and you guys were talking about, I'm a little bit nervous, but so I kind of forgot what.
It's just you and me. The comments aren't even on. It's just you and me.
Okay, I can't believe this is actually happening right now. But okay, so I guess the point is, you said modern women nowadays are very hard to talk to. We're very instinctively no, very debatable.
That's true.
My ex actually said that to me. Right? Loved him. We're together for 9 years and stuff. He's 10 years older than I am.
Okay.
So he met me when I was 18, and he's 38 now. I'm 28.
Okay.
So I think when I was younger, I was, that very much compliant, very much, just young, going with the flow. As I got older, I think views kind of started to shift,
You said you? So what's the ultimate question? You're 28 now. What's the question?
The question is, when you say that modern women nowadays are very quick to say no, and then and you're talking to me as if I'm your age. At what point what is a good balance of not being so conflictive? Because
from the female standpoint?
Yeah, because I think we don't want to be walked over, and sometimes, I think women's brains are wired a lot different. So a lot of our thoughts connect to different boxes when guys.
Yeah, a woman's brain is like a plate of spaghetti, and a man's brain is like a waffle. Everything in a woman's brain, spaghetti, all of it tangles. The waffle is all squares. So the simple answer to your question is how can women not come into conflict with a man? To not be so conflicted, to not be so difficult, argumentative. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, well, two things. One, it is typical when a person, in this case a woman, is doing that, you're typically coming from a place of fear and scarcity. So it's a survival response, a negative one, but a survival response. You got to understand why you're coming at your man that's not supposed to be associated with fear or scarcity. A man is supposed to be associated with provision, protection, prophet, priest. See, are modern women coming into interactions with men in good faith? Meaning you expect the best of men. You expect the best outcome. So you can let your guard down and relax in your feminine. Are you expecting to get fucked over? Are you expecting to get this? Are you expecting to get that? So you got to always try to weigh the odds and this and that, and always got to be on edge. And that's not a good place to where you walk around women like that walk around with their emotional dukes up. And that's exhausting.
Is it because it's not the right partner if you feel that way then?
I will say that could be an oversimplification, but what I will say is any time you're going into a situation with the opposite sex and not in good faith,
it's not
a good thing, because inevitably fear and scarcity comes along. Like let's switch the scale. You said when you're at school, your sister takes care of your child, right?
No, she goes. I had to wait. That's why I went to school late, because I had to wait till she went to school.
Okay.
Well,
who takes care of your child while you're at school?
Well, right now, I'm fortunate enough to not live in a state or a city where it's confined as far as schooling. So she goes to school. While
goes to
I'm
school with you?
school.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay, she goes to school with you. So have you ever had anybody that had to take care of her?
No.
Okay. Who would you give that kind of responsibility to?
Nobody.
Let me stop right there. Because of fear and scarcity. You don't have it, and you fear it. I don't have abundant options, and the options I do have, I have fear. So I'm gonna keep my most prized possession with me held tightly at all times. It's exhausting.
I don't think it is when you actually love and devote yourself to that. So at that point,
it's emotionally okay. Okay. You have one.
One.
Tell me how you deal with that with 6.
Ooh.
I don't know how most people. No, I don't.
Because you couldn't. And again, this is why so many only children end up, like myself, helicopter parented because.
Were you an only child?
Yeah, and it's a horrible way to be raised. It's called only child syndrome.
I know about it. Yeah, I've read about that.
So my ultimate point is, why ever you and your man aren't together, the ultimate way it's supposed to work is women wait to reproduce with a man that they are committed to for a lifetime, that they have good faith in, respect, and value. Regardless if he has $1 million or he's making $40,000 a year, then things can tend to work. But that's why, the whole notion of having a child outside of wedlock, because now it doesn't matter. It's here. Your daughter's here. And if you don't trust anybody to babysit or even daycare, who the French toast you gonna trust enough to have in the house with her as another man?
That's exactly why I broke up with him.
Well, the biological father?
No.
Your ex-boyfriend?
Ex-boyfriend. Yeah, he was the guy that I met after.
So, all right. So, because at the end of the day, fear, scarcity. So, I mean, a lot of people think I just sit on YouTube and talk shit. No, there's actually thoughts behind this stuff. So now this is why I think therapy is so good for women, so you can actually talk through your attachment styles, talk through why you think the way you do about men and women, because at the end of the day, your daughter is going to pick up on how you interact with men. They don't do what we tell them, they do it what they see.
That's true.
And if you don't want your daughter to think of men as things that hurt, things that are to be. We had an entire generation of women that were told, you don't need no man. In my community, we had an entire generation of women that were told, you don't need no man, go to school, get a job, so you don't have to ever rely on no man, don't depend on man. And then we wonder why at 40 years old, so many women are alone. Because you've been told you didn't need us. So yeah, what's
really honest, what's wrong with wanting to be alone? And what is wrong with settling? What is wrong
with wanting to be alone? Because it's not how human beings are wired. In prison, what's the worst punishment you can give an individual?
Solitary.
Right. Human beings are not wired to be alone.
No, you're absolutely right.
Leave high-functioning mammals alone and they go crazy.
Yeah, no, pandemic is driving me nuts at this point.
So the point is, most women would rather be alone because they're afraid, but they call it settle. And I'm just actually one female at a time having the conversation. And it's really not about men. It's about fear. It's about scarcity. It's about some other things that animate, because here's the thing. When we pick the wrong person, there are also the right people out there. They exist in the same environment, the same world. We're just attuned to a certain things. The last thing I'll say is relationships are reflective, and this is the hardest part. We attract what we are.
I know, that's horrible.
This is why
my last relationship was.
Well, then this is why I'm always a proponent of therapy, because at least you can know you've at least started doing the work on becoming the best version of yourself. So if nothing else, you'll be a better mother, a better friend, a better sister, a better potential mate. Because You can't know you have traumas and issues and things like that and then walk around in the world and expect the world to give a damn. It doesn't. The world doesn't owe you or me understanding. Got it? Have a good night, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye. All right. See how that goes? I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me.
Name of the game. That was a good informal video. Now I see why women, they be so mean and aggressive towards a lot of us men, because they fearful and they went through experiences of bad men. But at the same time, hey, if you going through these issues with all these type of men, you got to switch it up. Stop going after the same type of men. That's why a lot of women be like, all men are the same, because they going after the same type of men. Switch it up. It don't hurt to switch it up, unless you want to, like Kevin Samuels say, die alone. But that's all I got for you guys. Until next time, I'm gone. Peace.